Hi, a very good day to you. My name is Kartik Johari and welcome to the new episode of upGrad's Grassroots. I am the Vice President of Marketing and Commerce at Nobel Hygiene, and we are India's largest manufacturers of diaper products and sanitary napkins. I'm going to share my experiences with all of you today. The title of my speech is Soft Skills for Hard Success. And we're going to go over a couple of basic points which probably you've heard of for a really long time, but have never really grasped the importance of this. And what I'm going to share with you today are some very real insights of what it takes to be successful at work, and certainly some hacks and tricks that you should be leveraging irrespective of what sector your corporate journey is in. So tip number one is mental maths. Now, please guys, take it from someone who's a math failure, and this is coming from me being the black sheep in my family, because my father is a chartered accountant from a background in science and my mother has a bachelor's degree in mathematics. And in front of you is a gentleman who could not pass his exams from the 7th grade up, right? But from someone like me to tell you how vital mental maths is, I'm very sorry, but there is no other way around it. Whether you're sitting across customers in field or in market trying to discuss price lists, whether you're sitting with your own team or with clients and negotiating new strategies, spends for marketing, or even discussing the validity of the activities you've done, or you're, across once again the classic example of sitting and negotiating for your own salary or for a new job, right? If you're unable to crunch numbers in your head, you're not going to be respected, and unfortunately your skill sets are going to cap out at a certain point. If in a CTC negotiation, if the HR manager is telling you that no, I'm sorry, we cannot afford a 15% increment, we will have to give you only 7.5 or 8, if you can't immediately break those numbers down in your head, you're not going to come across looking as the best candidate, now will you? And it's a hard truth of life, as a lot of my points are going to be, but there is no simple way around it, and you need to get good at mental maths. So few small tips that can make it better is A, tables are still the number one strongest way to go. It takes less than 3 minutes to dictate them, mentally orate them in your mind before you pass out at the night. But again, a vital skill is what you need. Please know percentage shortcuts immediately in your mind. Know that a 10% of something means slicing off a 0, yeah? And trust me, I have sat across the table from people from highly respected MBA schools as well, who sometimes lose their nerve and lose out in basic calculations, right? So whether it's from price lists, whether it's from tax calculations, whether it's your P&L responsibility, you need to know mental maths and you need to get a handle on it. Now, on to point 2 is to always speak well. It is again unfortunate of how many people I've worked with or I've collaborated with who have somehow not understood this very simple point, right? There is, again, no easy way around this, but you will have to get very, very comfortable speaking very well. And that means a couple of different things, right? So as tips and as pointers again, firstly, intonate. There is a cadence to words, right? Speed up, slow down, loud, soft. There are multitudes of things that you could do with your voice to retain attention of the people you're talking to. Most people, unfortunately, are always so caught up in their own minds with the words that need to come out that you often lose touch of everything else that is happening around you, right? With that, cut out on all your jargon, all your verbal tics, right? So no jargon, that means no using high fancy MBA words. If you're from the tech background, please understand that not everyone is as fluent in those terminologies as you are, and it does not make you a better person for knowing some words that other people do not, right? So no jargon, no ums, no ahs, cut those out of your language. And I'm not saying it's easy, friends. It's a multi-year long battle. But you will need to do this and approach it with discipline if you have any shot of succeeding and getting better at this. Please understand, and I'm sure you know this, that the higher you climb up in any corporate ladder, the more important it is for your soft skills to come out, right? And speaking is one of the primary soft skills that you will be utilizing. Whether you're pitching your own business ideas, whether you're defending your own perspective, whether it's anything to do or even you're negotiating with your own children, right? But speaking is the superpower you need to gain control of. This is how it's the fastest, most secure way you have at any sort of success, whether that's professional or personal. All right. So please understand that you have to speak well and there is no other way out of it. Point number 3 is to listen, which is, the other side of the coin of my previous point. It's very important to listen because, of course, the other side of the equation is the majority of the world likes to talk. So would you rather be a part of the crowd that wants to keep talking but has no one to listen to their words, or would you rather be a part of the minority that has open ears without judgment for everyone, correct? And again, I know this is much harder than it seems coming across this way. There are people who we meet that we have a natural proclivity to either love or to hate. But irrespective of that, you need to make a practice of listening without judgment, because irrespective of situation, and irrespective of sectors, right? There are numerous cases, whether you're in a market research study wherein you're forced to listen well, whether you're sitting across from a grievously wounded consumer or a distributor who really wants to just, lay it out into the company or into your product or to your brand. It's very important for you to let your guard down and let the other person know that you're receiving their information well, right? So a few things to even be a great listener. First of all, I would repeat again for emphasis, do it without judgment. Practice active listening. It means mirroring certain emotions, words or physical gestures that the speaker is making to show that you're subconsciously in harmony with them, right? This may come across as small clues, that where you nod at the end of every sentence that they make, or whether you repeat a word which is the most important word in the point that they're trying to make, or it can be as simple as giving verbal clues to the fact that you've heard. Now, this is all the more important in this current environment of Zoom and virtual calls, correct? I can't again tell you of the number of times that I've been in situations where people like to keep the cameras off. You're pitching a new product or you're hearing about a new service. Even though all cameras are off, you usually get the sense that no manager is there on the call. With me and with my own team, there is an insistence that firstly, cameras on. Secondly, you have to be on unmute and respond to the person, at least with a or an okay, or remark once in a while saying, oh, interesting, oh, fascinating. Show the other person that you're genuinely there and you're listening and that you care. It is one of the most sacrosanct of all soft skills. Believe me, for every C-suite leader in the country out there right now, the great listeners and the more empathetic ones are the ones who are at the top, not the other way around. All right? So get used to listening much more than you have to talk. Next is, as I'm sure some of you may have suspected, reading. Unfortunately, whoever has been telling you since you were a child that you must read, they are right. There is no other hard way, no other easy way for me to break this truth to you, but you must read. And not only consistently, but you must read in volume and you must read in variety, correct? Reading is food consumption for your brain. So your entire mental state is a reflection of what you are putting into it. So if you're consuming nothing, that's a separate reflection of your mind state, versus you consuming only the McDonald's equivalent of reading, versus you consuming actual rich content, correct? Reading still remains one of the fastest ways to consume new information. Scientists, and this is I think a Harvard or an MIT study, where they put participants in an fMRI machine as they were reading, and they found out that your brain lights up in a myriad of different ways that are simply untouched of by other activities. Few other very keystone activities come close to this, such as performing on a musical instrument, etc. Right? But like I said, reading is one of those keystone skills. If you read more, you will speak better, you will listen better, you will communicate better, you will write better, you will know more. Now, as tips and pointers for people who want to start, right? Firstly, reading something is better than reading nothing. If you want to start off, you want to pick up a comic book or a Japanese manga or whatever that interests you, read, it's better than not reading anything. Secondly, read unique content, right? Everyone reads FinShots or InShots or whatever that app is. But if you're going to consume information like Janta, your mind state is also going to be Janta. If you want to step out, if you want to make sure you are one of the outliers in terms of performance or in terms of communication, you need to start ingesting information which is different as well. You must do this from a vast variety of sources, right? Read from diverse inputs, read multiple amounts of things in areas that you practically didn't know about. Now, technology, right? You may think, how is this even a soft skill? But believe me, in today's world, there is no getting around the fact that you need to be well versed in technology. Not to the extent of that as a genuine coder. Please understand that we all have our skill sets. I'm not a coder myself. It's of someone of my maths aptitude, I could never succeed at engineering, right? But that does not mean that I don't understand the nuances of technology. You don't need to know how to code. You don't need to know what's the difference between a new level of JavaScript versus what's the new database structure in MongoDB, right? But you need to understand the tools. My analogy for this is that if you go out to a restaurant, you know if you're in the mood, you can order a fantastic Eggs Benedict. You know what an Eggs Benedict is. Do you need to know how to cook it? No. But you need to know what the outcome is. You need to know in a kitchen the difference between a pan and a wok. Both of you can make noodles in both, right? But there is a purpose to one and why it is meant to make noodles in. Similarly, the same analogies apply in technology and in coding. You need to understand what languages exist and what databases exist. Be curious about them and know what is the best application of such things. Second, you need to understand programming logic, right? You don't need to know how to code, but you need to know what code is capable of, what things you can ask from your team to be coded, and how easy or difficult it would be. You need to understand how AI models, huge machine learning models and algorithms are now freely available online. My second last point is discipline. This is also now recognized as a meta skill that one must develop. Another word for it is grit, and studies have shown that all entrepreneurs across categories and time frames, if there is one common shared characteristic, it is grit or endurance or the ability to not give up, right? Discipline is one of those skills that it forms the bedrock of all your other soft skills, correct? And there are various different ways in which you can process this information. The Japanese have a term for it, it's called Kaizen, and supply chain professionals will be very familiar with this. Kaizen basically means one step forward every day. It doesn't matter how big or small the step is, the point is you need to take one step forward every day, right? And you only do that with discipline. And finally, the best for last or the worst for last. Personally for me, this is my strongest battle at the moment, but another skill to generate a soft skill even is working out. Unfortunately, I have personally, gone by 25 years of my life trying to convince my own self, saying that, it's all right to be a little unfit. I've sacrificed a lot of my physical health for my mental health. Yes, I can converse about almost any topic on the planet. Why is it important for me to work out? Kabhi na kabhi kar lenge. But the transformational experience again came in my life was when I read something interesting which said that your brain isn't even truly functioning to 100% of its capacity unless your body is getting the requisite amount of workout, right? And frankly, that shattered me because I had spent a large number of years in my own life ignoring physical health for the sake of reading or for the sake of other pursuits. But nothing brings that more into stark relief, right? So for you to have any sort of success, the old adage still strong stand, right? Health is wealth. All the points I've mentioned are completely irrelevant if you're not a healthy person. And you can be healthy and remain healthy if you invest with discipline few things into your own physical well-being, right? It is vastly important for you to do so. And believe me, as I'm sure a lot of the people watching this are going to be under 30 for sure, your body changes at 30, changes at 40, changes at 50. It gets incredibly harder with every decade to try and keep it in shape. So the sooner you invest in your own system, the better it is for you. And please remember that nothing over here will be working strong enough if the rest of your body is weak. So I hope you found value in my top tips for soft skills for your hard success. All of these ideas and tips were gleaned by me over 1,000 different humiliating experiences, and I've just thrown all of these out to you. I hope from the thousands of people who end up watching this, at least a small fraction of you can take away some genuine value from any of the tips that I've given. I assure you that they are true, how much ever you want to believe them or not, but this is the reality of life and the world that we're in. If you've liked this content, please feel free to go check out all the other speakers as a part of the upGrad Grassroots series. They're all vastly more qualified than I am to talk about things in their respective domains. So please, and if you like any of the content, you know what to do. Like, share, retweet, share, move along. Yeah, so boilerplate stuff. Wishing you the very best of luck with your career and for your success. That's it. Thank you.